Hi, welcome to today's lesson, and today I'm going to talk about time signature. This is a broad topic that very many students have had challenges in handling it. I've handled a good number of students, especially those who are doing grade 2, grade 3, and even grade 6, and a few in grade 5, and most of them are complaining about this topic, time signature. The reason why this has become a challenging topic is because it has various concepts. This is a topic with very many concepts that are inclusive to make it betterly understood. In time signature alone, there is the concept of time, there is the concept of duration, there is the concept of meter and meter subdivision, there's the concept of measure, measure alignment, and measure grouping. And finally, there is the concept of accentuations, prominence, weak and strong bits. When all these are grouped together, they form the topic of time signature when you group them. Having learnt about basic rhythmic values and notations used in music, the very next important thing to learn about or to talk about is this topic, the time signature. A time signature tells you how the music is supposed to be counted. The time signature tells you how the measures are supposed to be divided, how the bars are supposed to connect. The time signature tells you which beats are on beat and which beats are off beat. The time signature will help you understand where to accentuate and where not to accentuate. The time signature will tell you whether you are dealing with a meter in simple time or compound time or irregular time, because meters are classified based on the nature they display. When you're dealing with a meter that displays its characteristic of either being in groupings of 3 or 2 or irregular grouping, then you will be talking about compound meters, simple meters, or irregular meters. These are meters that are neither simple nor compound. But there are cases where irregular meters are classified as being simple, but we'll talk about that some other day. The time signature consists of a fraction. It is written in the fraction form and it appears at the left of the staff immediately after the clef symbol and the key signature symbol. It's written in the fraction format where the top number represents how many bits to count per bar, and the bottom number of the time signature tells you the kind of bit to count or the kind of note that gets a bit. For example, if I am dealing with 4/4 time signature, the top number 4 tells me that I am supposed to count 4 beats per bar, but the bottom number 4 represents a quarter note or a crochet, and that means a crochet note gets 1 beat. Therefore, in 4/4 time signature, there are 4 crochet beats per bar. And whenever you are trying to understand the pulses in this time signature, then you have to ensure that each measure corresponds to 4 counts or 4 pulses. So in 4/4 you will have 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They must be 4 pulses per measure. and the pulses those pulses correspond to 4 beats in each measure. If you are dealing with a measure in 2/4, then you will be having 2 beats per bar, because the top number 2 tells you that each bar must be complete with 2 beats. The bottom 4 tells you that you're dealing with crochet beats, and they must be 2 crochet beats per measure. So the pulses will be different in 2/4. There will be 2 pulses or 2 beats per bar, and in 2/4 it will be like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So the difference between these two time signatures is on the pulse. Some people confuse 4/4 and 2/4. A music in 4/4 and 2/4 may sound the same in terms of rhythm, but the pulse will feel different. A music in 4/4 will have 4 pulses: 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. While a music in 2/4 will have 2 pulses: 1 2 1 2 1. So the pulses will be very different. The feel of the pulses will be different. But generally, if a music is written in 4/4 and 2/4, it may sound not that much different. The rhythm will sound almost the same, but the pulses will be different. The bottom number of the time signature always correspond to the note values, and in that case you will either see 2, 4, 8, or even 16 to represent note values as either half note, quarter note, eighth note, or even the 16th. In some cases you will see 32 or 64, but you will hopefully not find them because they are rarely used. There are a few examples or few cases of time signature that use abbreviations to demark the time signatures. For example, the 4/4 time signature sometimes is abbreviated as common time. Whenever you come across common time, then just know that you are dealing with the 4/4. It's a music in 4/4, because 4/4 is common time and it's abbreviated with a C. So whenever you come across a music piece and the time signature is abbreviated with a C, then know that it is common time or 4/4. The C used in common time is not the short form of the word common, as some people may think, but the C is actually an incomplete circle of an older version of a note called the mensural note. This was a note that was used during the earlier periods of music. Remember, there are very many periods in music. There is Baroque period, classical period, there is the romantic period. There are very many periods. So the mensural note was used during the earlier periods of music. You can go and find more about the mensural note. The C is actually just a representation of that older version of a note. It's a representation of the incomplete circle of that older version of the note. So it's not a short form of common, but it's an abbreviation of 4/4 time to demarcate common time. Another time signature that uses abbreviation is 2/2 time signature, and it's abbreviated as cut time. It's abbreviated with a C that has got a slash through it. Some people say it's a common slashed time. Some people call it a common slashed time, but it's just a C with a slash through it to indicate that it's a cut time. That's why it's called cut time. It's also the same as 2/2 time. Whenever you come across 2/2 time, then you're dealing with cut time or a slashed common time. And in this time signature, you are dealing with the 2 beats per bar, and each beat corresponds to a minim or a half note. in the 2-2 time signature, each minim corresponds to 1 bit. So generally there are 2 half-note beats per bar, or 2 minims per bar, 2 minim beats per bar in the cut time. The main thing that you must remember while dealing with the time signature is the notion of how and what kind. The time signature tells you how of what kind, how many beats per bar, of what kind of note does the beat correspond to. So, in a nutshell, the time signature is the number of beats and the type of note the beat is. That's the simplest definition of time signature that you can easily understand. We can group time signatures based on the nature of how the measures can be subdivided into various groups, and we can therefore have a simple time, compound time, and even irregular time. Simple time signatures are the time signatures where the main beat is able to be split into 2, whereas the compound time signatures are the ones that the main beat is split into 3. And examples of these time signatures: in simple time signatures we have 2-4 as an example, 2-2 another example, 3-8, 3-4, 3-2, 4-4, and even 4-2. Those are a few examples of simple time signatures. Examples of compound time signatures are 6-8, 6-4, 9-8, 9-4, 12-8, and even 12-4. Those are just few examples. Irregular time signatures are 5-4, 5-8, 7-8, and even 7-4. Those are few examples of irregular time signatures. The simple time signatures use 2, 3, or 4 as their top numbers. Whenever you come across a time signature with either 2 or 3 or 4 as the top number, then the music is written in simple time. Whenever you come across a time signature with either 6, 9, or 12 as the top number, then that music is written in compound time. Now let's go to the details. In compound time signature, each beat is divided by 3 into equal groups of dotted notes, such as 6-8, where each beat is divided by 3 into 2 equal groups of dotted crotchets. Because remember, in 6-8 we are dealing with the 6 quivers, which are divided by 3, so that we have 2 groups of equally divided dotted crotchets. So in one group we'll have a dotted crochet to represent 3 quivers, another group will have a dotted crochet to represent 3 quivers. So that is how to understand the compound time signatures. Another example is 9-4, which contain 3 dotted half notes, or 3 dotted minims. You may be wondering of how to write a piece in 6-4 time signature or in 3-2, but it's very simple. What you need to do is that if the top number of your signature is 6, because the main beat is able to be split into 3, then you can use 4 as your bottom number, because there are 6 crochet beats per measure, or 6 quarter notes. If your top number is 3, and that's because the main beat is able to be split into 2, then you can use 2 as your bottom number of the time signature, because there are 3 minim beats per measure, or 3 minims per measure. Finally, when you're dealing with irregular time signatures, because those are also challenging meters as well. All irregular time signatures are considered simple, and the reason why they are simple is because the main bits in irregular time signatures are able to be split into two and not three, and that concept makes them simple time. They can be considered simple based on that concept because the main bit is able to be split into two and not three. So in a nutshell, the time signature tells you how many bits of what type